Hi, welcome back. So, we've been discussing power creep for a little while on this channel, but let's take a little break from this subject and instead talk about the new characters, Sunday and Fugue, with a lot more detail than we've talked about before. While Fugue has certainly been disappointing, she still has a place in some of your accounts. Sunday is also a contender to being one of the top 3 Harmony characters in Honkai Star Rail, so he's definitely worth considering. So today we'll be discussing whether or not you should get Fugue and Sunday, and exactly which one of these two is better for you. Before we start, you should like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this in the future. I'm slowly but surely running out of stuff to talk about, so if you have a subject in mind you want me to talk about, then make sure to tell me down in the comments below. On your way down there, join the Express Rain Discord server for a fun Star Rail community to interact with, and stay on top of Star Rail news. Finally, I'm trying to reach 2,500 subs before the end of the year, so I'd appreciate it if you help me get there. Now let's get on to it. First things first, let's talk about what's coming in 3.0, which is of course the summon meta. And as we all know, every one of these major updates there will be a new Trailblazer path. However, unlike Penacony, where we had to wait a couple more patches until we got Harmony Trailblazer, we're most likely getting the new Trailblazer path in 3.0, and that path will actually be Remembrance. That's going to be the newest path, and it will be the path that deals with summon characters. Of course, when using Remembrance Trailblazer, you won't be able to use Harmony Trailblazer, which means your Firefly and Rappa are useless. You know that 5-star DPS you got? Yeah, you need to get another 5-star support for them to actually work. If you're going to use Remembrance, that is, which is actually one of the smartest things you could do meta-wise. This is where both Fugue and Sunday come in. Fugue is of course the new Fire Nihility Fox character, and while she doesn't share many kit details with the Fire Nihility Fox that came before, she actually shares one detail, and that they both got nerfed to hell. Right now, in Firefly teams, Fugue is exactly as effective as Harmony Trailblazer after the V5 nerfs. She could be a little worse because of how strong the nerfs were, but I don't have the exact calculations. Before the V5 nerfs, she was around 12% better than Harmony MC, but they really saw limited 5-star being slightly stronger than a free-to-play option and decided to nerf her for some reason. Insane, honestly. In Rappa teams, then Fugue is definitely better because of Rappa's stack system, but other than that, Fugue is basically just another Harmony MC. She has a few extra scenarios where she would work really well, like Boot Hill and Himiko teams, but that's about it for her. We're gonna talk about that later. However, like we mentioned earlier, for those who are planning to not only invest into the summon meta, but also use Remembrance MC, then you won't be able to use your Super Break characters anymore, and so if you're really dedicated to these teams, then Fugue is definitely a need for your accounts. However, if you're willingly playing Super Break, then you have to be one of the most boring people on the planet, because that mechanic is, as I've said before, boring as all hell. Here, have some free damage. Surely this will make other 5-star DPSs whose damage you have to earn completely f***ing useless. Speaking of other 5-star DPSs, here's where Sunday comes in. While Sunday is the first summon-focused Harmony character to come out, and while he is going to buff up the summon characters to the point where it's going to make these older characters obsolete again as soon as the first summon character comes out, Sunday is going to be the best hyper carry support in the game. So, Dill, Jingliu, and most prominently somehow, Jingyuan. Jingyuan is now definitely better than Dill and Jingliu because of Sunday, even though Sunday does buff up Dill and Jingliu quite a bit as well. I still don't think hypercarry is at all as viable as it once was, even with Sunday, because ultra buffing the hypercarry character isn't enough anymore. The problem with hypercarry is that it only ever deals damage when the main DPS takes action, while all the other successful team types, ranging from Super Break to FUA to even DOT, deal damage with all their characters. DOT less so because we don't have a DOT healer or support yet, but still. So instead of Sunday, Jingliu, and Dill, and any future hypercarries for that matter, we will need a sort of sub-DPS to deal damage in between the main DPS's turns while also buffing up the main DPS a bunch. I've mentioned this in the previous video, something like Jade but a lot more powerful. Still though, Sunday is incredibly powerful. It's like another Ron main Robin situation, where if you don't pull the new 5-star Harmony character, then you're kinda bricking your own account. He's a male character though, I'm not pulling for him unfortunately. So again, he's going to really buff up old hypercarry units, but he makes Jingyuan a lot better than they are. If you really want to make your old characters more powerful, then definitely get Sunday. If you want to invest into the summon meta, then also definitely get Sunday. We're at a catch-22 here though, because most F2Ps, unless they have ungodly luck, are probably not going to get both Fugue and Sunday, because as we said earlier, if you want to invest into the summon meta, then changing your Harmony TV into Remembrance is probably going to be pretty smart. However, that means you won't be able to use your Super Break focused DPSs anymore, which means you're going to need to get Fugue for them. But investing into summons also means you have to get Sunday, but getting Sunday means you have to get Fugue. Anyway, before we get our pennies in a bunch here, let's take a closer look and decide which one you should get. So first things first, for the second time, well, Remembrance Trailblazer is definitely a good idea for those wanting to invest into summons. They're definitely not going to be a requirement like Harmony TB is for Super Break. While they're definitely not going to make them weak after they made Harmony Harmony TB that strong, especially because they're gonna want to make them pretty powerful so that they could start selling more summon characters that are definitely going to make them pretty strong. But they're also not going to make them a main DPS. Again, for the point of selling the summon main DPS characters, they're most likely going to be a sub DPS and support based on the information we have right now. However, they're definitely not going to be the only summon sub DPS coming out. We'll most likely get another one 3.1, 3.2, something like that. So while they're definitely smart to invest into, they're most likely not a need. So far, Sunday is definitely the better pick, as you can get Sunday and use any character to support the first summon main DPS character until we can get more, while you boring motherfuckers can somehow keep playing with Super Break using Harmony TB. However, Fugue doesn't only have the role of replacing Harmony TB, while it's definitely her most prominent role, and definitely the role that devs really want to push onto her after that dumb nerf they gave her a couple days ago, she actually can be useful in a couple other places. Probably the thing I'm most excited about because this character is one of my favorites, but she is definitely the first character that revives Himeko in the MOC and Apocalyptic Shadow, and of course makes her even better in Pure Fiction. The Exo Toughness Fugue of Lies is one of the most exciting things, and while of course being very exciting for Himeko, this Exo Toughness also has a couple other applications, including Boothill, who as we know doesn't even use Harmony TB in his best teams. Fugue's Exo Toughness increases the break damage Boothill can do by a ton, so Boothill mains should definitely look into investing into Fugue. But also, Sunday, honestly, is also Boothill's best in-slot support besides Ruan Mei. Maybe we can call it a tie here, I guess. Speaking of Ruan Mei, you can actually use Fugue instead of Ruan Mei in break teams, and the end result would be similar, just a lot slower. However, E1 Fugue is actually better than Ruan Mei in break teams, somehow. So if you're looking to use Ruan Mei on the other side of the MOC, or whatever other endgame mode, then getting Fugue specifically to replace Ruan Mei and use her alongside Harmony MC can be pretty wise. However, if you have Robin, this is entirely useless, since you just can use Robin on that other side, but again, E1 Fugue does somehow clear around one cycle faster than Ruan Mei in Super Break teams, so that's something to consider. In my opinion though, Super Break teams can clear plenty fast already. You really don't need them to clear any faster than they already do. They're incredibly boring too. Finally, while Sunday is definitely going to be one of the best Harmony characters in the game, Fugue isn't going to be that powerful. I mean, she's exactly as good as a free 5-star for crying out loud. So I think Sunday is definitely way more worth it here. The buffs he provides are not only going to be insane for the new summon meta, but are also insane for the hyper carry DPSs currently in the game. However, again, I'm definitely pulling Fugue over Sunday because Fugue is a pretty lady and Sunday is not. So, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember, I'm trying to reach 2,500 subs before the end of the year, so I'd really appreciate it if you could help me get there. And on your way down there, join the Express and Discord server for a fun StarL community to interact with, and I will see you next time.